Egypt is expected to hand Hamas a new proposal with respect to the Philadelphia corridor and its Rafah crossing, a source told the Jerusalem Post on Friday after an Israeli delegation returned from Cairo. The delegation, headed by Mossad chief David Barnea, Mossad's David Barnea, Shin Bet's Ronan Bar, and Major General Eliezer Toledano, were in Cairo on Thursday to help narrow the gaps on issues relating to the critical buffer zone between Egypt and Gaza, under which Hamas had smuggled weapons into the enclave, the source explained. Israel hopes to resolve the issue of Philadelphia before it returns on Sunday for a high-level summit on Sunday that was led by U.S. CIA Director William Burns. U.S. Special Envoy Brett McGurk and Burns were already in Cairo holding talks Friday in advance of that high-level summit, which the U.S. has described that summit as endgame negotiations to finalize a deal to secure the release of 109 hostages and end the 10-month Gaza war. The Israeli delegation on Thursday brought maps and proposal to show how to secure that buffer zone. Egypt, alongside Hamas, would also have to agree to any proposal with regard to Philadelphia, since the corridor borders its territory. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has insisted that the IDF must maintain a presence on that border so it can prevent Hamas from rearming. Hamas has stood firm on the need for an IDF withdrawal from Gaza. The three-phase proposal is constructed in such a way as to allow the deal to get underway without resolving all the issues, including the question of a permanent ceasefire and a full IDF withdrawal from Gaza. The U.S. 2 weeks ago put forward a bridging proposal that Israel accepted, but Hamas initially rejected, aimed at closing some of the overall disagreements between the two parties. But U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken explained when he was in the region last week that it did not include all the issues in dispute. The talks in Cairo on Thursday were very positive and constructive, the source said, explaining that it now remains to be seen what Hamas will do. Stay updated with the latest news. U.S. National Security Communications John Kirby told reporters on Friday that the discussions in Cairo were constructive, but more talks would take place over the weekend. Things are moving forward, he said, as he debunked reports that the talks had collapsed, urging both Israel and Hamas to move forward toward implementation of the agreement. He hoped, he said, that the positive momentum of the last days would continue. This deal will help Palestinians in Gaza, because there would be an immediate lull to the fighting which would allow for a dramatic increase in the humanitarian assistance, Kirby said. We are at a point where if these talks do go well, and both sides come to the table, that the deal will become a reality, he stressed. Kirby called on Hamas to agree to the deal and to participate in the high-level summit in Cairo next week. The U.S. has hoped that a hostage deal would lead to the end of the war, a step that it hopes would prevent any reprisal attacks against Israel by Iran and its proxy Hezbollah of a scale that could spark a regional war. Kirby said that the situation with Iran and Hezbollah was still perilous. Defensio Gallant spoke overnight with U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin, just 1 day after U.S. President Joe Biden spoke with Netanyahu. Their discussion focused primarily on joint preparation, as well as maintaining readiness and interoperability of Israeli and U.S. forces and capabilities in the face of ongoing threats posed by Iran and Hezbollah against Israel, Gallant's office said in a statement. Gallant updated Austin on the IDF's efforts to destroy smuggling tunnels under the Philadelphia crossing, explaining that so far 150 such tunnels have been disabled. Gallant emphasized the importance of ongoing operations to dismantle remaining terror infrastructure, eliminating terror operatives, and destroying Hamas tunnels, the ministry said. The two men also discussed at length efforts to reach a hostage deal. In Chicago, Vice President Kamala Harris, who has been involved in U.S. efforts to secure a hostage deal, spoke about its importance when she accepted the nomination to become the Democratic Party's presidential nominee. President Biden and I are working to end this war such that Israel is secure, the hostages are released, the suffering in Gaza ends, and the Palestinian people can realize their right to dignity, security, freedom and self-determination, Harris said. Reuters contributed to this report. This is an article from the Jerusalem Post at August 24, 2024. Please check the link at the description. Pictures gotten from internet and may not correlate with the audio. If you like the video, please subscribe. Thank you for listening.